It was a rainy evening in New York. The streets were glowing under the city lights, and the air smelled of wet asphalt and impatience. I had just gotten off a long meeting, my shirt clinging to my skin from the drizzle, my phone buzzing nonstop with emails I didn't want to answer. All I wanted was to get home as quickly as possible. I waved for a cab, and one finally pulled over. I slammed the door shut, dripping water all over the seat, and barked, "Downtown, and please hurry." The driver, an older man with gray hair peeking from under his cap, simply nodded. He didn't say a word. We started moving, but the car crawled through the traffic. He wasn't weaving between lanes like other drivers, wasn't honking aggressively, wasn't rushing at all. Instead, he drove with a calmness that irritated me even more. I checked my watch every 30 seconds. I sighed loudly, hoping he would get the hint. But he didn't speed up. Finally, I snapped. "Can you please drive faster? I'm late, and I don't have all night." The old man's eyes met mine in the rearview mirror for a brief second. His eyes weren't angry. They weren't offended. They were tired. But in a soft, almost apologetic voice, he said, "Sorry if I drove too slow. This is my last ride. After 40 years behind the wheel." The words hit me like cold water. I blinked, suddenly unsure if I heard him right. "Your last ride?" I asked. He nodded. "Yes. I've been driving a taxi since I was 23. Today, I turned 63. After this, I'm hanging up the keys. My wife's waiting at home with dinner. My kids flew in to surprise me. And I just wanted to take it slow, to savor it, to remember the city the way it's always been for me." The noise of the rain against the window filled the silence that followed. My anger dissolved into shame. Here I was, rushing through life, snapping at a man who was taking his very last journey after decades of service. A journey he wanted to stretch, not shorten. He continued softly, almost speaking to himself, "Young people are always in a hurry. But when you get to my age, you realize the moments you rush through are the ones you later wish you had slowed down to feel. The city lights, the sound of the rain, even the strangers you meet for just a few blocks. These rides, they were my life." I didn't know what to say. I lowered my phone, turned off my buzzing notifications, and for the first time that day, I looked out the window. The city didn't look like chaos anymore. It looked alive. The rain shimmered like silver. The traffic lights painted the puddles with colors, and the world didn't feel like it was against me anymore. When we finally reached my stop, I pulled out my wallet. The ride was only $15, but I gave him $50. He looked surprised. I told him, "Thank you for the slowest, most meaningful ride I've ever had." He smiled, a warm, genuine smile that carried 40 years of stories I'd never know. And as I stepped out into the rain, I realized something that would stay with me forever. Sometimes life's greatest teachers don't stand on stages or write books. Sometimes they're just taxi drivers who remind us that the best moments aren't the ones we rush through, but the ones we take slow enough to feel. And that night, as I walked home, the city didn't feel the same. It felt alive. And so did I.